Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going over a pretty sick deck, Warmothers Call. So this deck is based off the idea that you're going to be ramping into Warmothers using cards like Wording Stones in order to do so, getting those extra mana crystals, and getting into Warmothers Call when you have 9 mana and 3 spell mana. That could be turn 7 or turn 6 even with this deck. And you're trying to get out Tryndamere, which, by the way, when Tryndamere dies, he levels up, becoming a 9/9 Overwhelm Fearsome. So you're playing Warmothers Call as early as possible, getting out these big threats. You even have like cards like Atrocity to sacrifice them and throw them directly at your opponent's Nexus. You also play Trundle. Trundle's great. The Ice Pillar means you can pull weak units towards the Overwhelm. Trundle himself gets a pretty big buff whenever you talk with him because of because of his Tryndamere. Then you also have Avaros and Hearthguard to buff dudes in your deck. He also comes out along with some Wording Stones, which is kind of unfortunate, but in order to get the ramp, you have to play into that. So we're going to get into a game here. The idea here is just going to be survive the early game and get to the late game. This deck was used in a tournament recently. Pretty cool. It did really well, I believe, and it was pretty successful. And I definitely think it's worth a try for ladder if you guys are into late game decks and decks that like to stall pretty late. This deck does that really well. It's able to beat most other strategies pretty well. So here we could keep Withering Wail. I think we're going to actually just keep Vile Feast and Avalanche. We're not going to keep Unspeakable Horror because we don't want the early game because it doesn't get as much value. And Vile Feast makes a unit which is just good early game. So here to double Troll Chant is going to be rough. We could Vile Feast and then play Troll Chant on our 1/1. That's basically the only way we can play Troll Chant in this hand because Troll Chant can only be used if you have a unit on board. So we did get the Unspeakable Horror. I think here we're going to be forced to Vile Feast the Young Witch because if he gets that Flower Child's attack off with the quick attack, we can't do anything about that really. And at that point, 5 damage in total if you count the elusive. It's just a whole heck of a lot. So instead we're going to kill the Young Witch and only take 1 damage next turn. That's a pretty good trade for just 1 Vile Feast. So doing that, we've bought ourselves some extra time. We now have enough for Avalanche if we need it. Our Laurent Protege is not going to be a Lulu, which is pretty good. It means he can't get the support trigger off. So we don't have to worry about that this turn, or else we would have had to like Avalanche and then worry about Unspeakable Horror. But now we can just take the hit. And now he has a Laurent Protege, which we can kill with a combination of Avalanche and Unspeakable Horror, or we can just kill with the Grasp here. So depending on what he plays, we might Avalanche here. I don't really want to waste mana, and if we let his board develop too much, we could be in a bad spot. Now, his board position now is kind of interesting. I'm not sure if that pass was right or wrong. I think it was right in the end because of how weak his open attack is. Because it's only dealing 4 damage, and we have so much healing in hand. Like, we have a freak ton of healing. Here we're going to be able to Catalyst, go back up to 18, and not even have to worry about how much damage we took. And his board still looks pretty weak. Now, we could Unspeakable Horror here. I think leaving up the mana is fine, too. The 4/5 dragon is going to be a pain. So we're actually going to have to save spell mana here for a combination of the Avalanche and Grasp next turn to kill his entire board, right? And then we can Unspeakable Horror his Laurent Protege if we have to. After the aftermath of that right position. Oh, so Relentless Pursuit here is going to be really rough. We're going to take a little bit of damage here. Now, he doesn't have a support mechanic for the Flower Child. That's the one saving grace. The Flower Child is still just doing 1 damage. Now, I think we might Flash Freeze here. We're never taking more than this 4 damage, usually. Unless he has a Cythria. But if he has a Cythria, we kind of lost anyway, right? We basically lose anyway. And so knowing that we lose to Cythria basically no matter what, the buff is just too big. Like, if he plays a Cythria after we Avalanche here, I don't know how we can come back from this game. But Genevieve is much worse, actually. Genevieve is what we're more scared of, I think. Knowing that we kind of have to open Avalanche, because if we pass and he gets a good open attack, that's just insane. So we're going to open with Avalanche here. And he's going to have a Ranger's Resolve, which means we don't actually kill anything. That's going to make this really awkward. We do have a Withering Wail, which can kill his Flower Childs next turn. So we saved, 5 damage? We really just need to kill the dragon. So we're going to need to use a combination of Grasp and Unspeakable Horror in order to kill that dragon next turn. Oh boy. So he's got another 3-2. We're just going to have to take the 3 extra damage here. That's kind of unfortunate. But given our hand, we actually could survive. The true Troll Chants and the Warmothers are both dead in our hand right now, guys. That's one of the most unfortunate things oh my gosh. That's one of the most unfortunate things I've ever seen. Do remember that as soon as we get Warmothers off, we kind of win, right? As long as his board isn't too big. We're going to survive this attack, right, guys? We're not dead here. We're not going to play anything, though. There's no reason to. We don't kill anything, and the healing can matter later. We'd rather have the mana up next turn. And so, I think the idea is Withering Wail. Ooh, the Ruination. That's going to save us. So, here we're going to have to Withering Wail into the Grasp on the Dragon. And then we're out of mana. So, sadly, we cannot take out the 3-2 here and save us an additional 4 damage this turn. We're going to have to go down to 4. So, if he has another rally, we basically lost, right? But what are the odds of that? I don't know why he didn't develop it. Like, okay, the Ruination was a lucky top deck, but if he had developed and we didn't have the Ruination, we would have lost. Right? There's no way we would have won that. He had the Challenger. I mean, we were basically dead. So now that we have the Ruination, what we can do here is open Ruinate. He only will have 1 unit, and hopefully... Ooh, with the Ruination... The Ruination isn't a mistake here. I mean, if he draws a unit that can kill us, we basically lost, right? Yep. Okay, so that's GG's for him. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Just remember when you're playing Warmothers to play really slow. Try to get the grind. Go for the grindy game. And anyway, guys, with that, I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to check out or look out for my other content, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.